Both teams love to play high up-tempo. I think we'll see a lot of pressing, trapping, and getting out and run in transition. Yeah, I think so, Austin. Maybe first one to 90 wins this afternoon. Should be electric.
They're two gifted offensive teams. UCF will have it first. Riley Kugel right to the rim, then he lays it in.
That's something that UCF misdirection there. They lifted everybody on the weak side. That gave Riley Kugel an advantage. ISO open side to drive and attack.
Vanderbilt won their opener against Lipscomb 105-61. Hit 17 threes in that game. Tyler Nickel opens the scoring for the Commodores.
Nickel might be the most underappreciated wing, not just in the SEC, but in the country. He is ready for a breakout year.
Kugel right in front of the Vanderbilt bench, drops in a three. He's hit his first two.
Kugel hit 5 threes in the win versus Hofstra. He has been big time aggressive and hot from the perimeter.
At the end of shoot-around today, Kugel encouraged his teammates to bring the energy, whether they were in the game or on the bench. Said everybody needed to have the energy. There's Duke Miles with a triple.
Miles shot over 43% from 3 last season, transfer from Oklahoma. Perfect addition for this Vanderbilt offensive system that thrives on spacing and tempo.
Mark Byington in his second year as the Vanderbilt head coach. We show you the triple by Kugel. Tyler Tanner turns the corner all the way in, just over the outstretched hand of John Bowl.
Vanderbilt went Spain action, ball screen into a back screen, and the seas parted for Tanner, who is having a great start to his sophomore season.
Tanner, a new career high, 18 points in the opener. There's Devin Cambridge with the bucket. The teams haven't missed from the field yet. McLaughlin steps into a three. First missed shot of the game. Demas Folks in a hurry, fortunate to keep possession as he's harassed by Tanner.
Tanner is an excellent on-ball defender. This is going to be a serious challenge for Themis Folks, navigating the tempo and pace of this game.
And check foul against Duke Miles. Mentioned Mark Byington. His second year as the Vanderbilt head coach, took the Commodores to the NCAA tournament last year. First time since 2017. Great runs at Georgia Southern and James Madison before getting a chance to coach in the SEC.
He's one of the best young minds of all head coaches in the country right now. And just did a fantastic job exceeding expectations of Vanderbilt last season.
It'll stay with UCF. Say that was last touched by A.K. Okereke.
That was a cause for concern for Vanderbilt last season, was they lacked size up front. And that is going to have an effect on this game because UCF, in terms of average roster height, is far bigger than Vanderbilt's roster.
And one of the keys Mark Byington gave us was that we have to finish possessions and keep UCF off the offensive glass. That time it doesn't come back to hurt him as the Knights turn it over. Frankie Collins in the game at the point for Vanderbilt. Transfer from TCU. Tanner so fluid, under control, quick release, and he's got the three.
That's a dangerous thing for opponents for Vanderbilt if Tyler Tanner has fixed his three-point shot.
McLaughlin thought he blocked it clean, but the foul will put Jordan Burks at the line.
Going back to Tyler Tanner, just shot just 26% from 3 last season. As initially looked like that's a lot of ball there. It's a good angle. A little bit on the arm. 50-50 play from my vantage point, Austin.
Goes the way of UCF. First foul on McLaughlin. Tanner last year, you mentioned 27%. He only made 17 threes total last season. He hit 4 in the opener against Lipscomb and already has his first one here today.
Yeah, had 18 points in that blowout win versus Lipscomb. I wouldn't be surprised if the man who just shot free throws right there, Jordan Burks, ends up getting switched on him for a few possessions. UCF's wings and Coach Dawkins, the coaching staff, they really pride themselves on versatility on the wing to guard 1 through 4 positions.
Okereke putting it on the deck against Kugel. Versatile player at 6'7", takes a difficult shot and knocks it down.
Yeah, he can make those. Shot 59% from the field at Cornell. Best in the Ivy League.
Second straight year that Vanderbilt has brought in a player from Cornell. A year ago it was Chris Magnon, talented guard. And this year Okereke. Folks spinning and laying it in. Terrific move by Themis Folks.
He is crafty, there is no doubt about it. His great strength too with the ball.
We promised good offense, and so far these teams have delivered. Collins mishandles it, and that'll take us to the under-16 timeout. Teams combined have missed just 2 shots. Themis Folks in the...
Well, there's no question about it. And for a player like John Bull specifically, he has to be kind of like the free safety, especially as UCF begins to full court press more and try to get out and run and create havoc in the front court. He's got to be able to protect the paint and really disrupt anything that gets past or gets over top of that full court press. That should be a kick ball.
Play continues with Folks getting into the lane. Shot clock now under 5. Jamichael Stillwell has his shot blocked by Okereke. Collins, nice change of pace right up through Jamichael Stillwell with the finish. Folks right to Fumena at the front of the rim. Collins harasses him. Tough shot, Fumena.
Well, good adjustment offensively for UCF because the previous possession, Vanderbilt was in a zone. They switched over to man, and they will do that. They'll go back and forth between man and zone throughout the course of the game.
Foul away from the ball on Fumena.
And Folks does a really nice job probing. And there's Fumena, who absolutely gets away with the travel on that fadeaway. Picks up the pivot foot twice, actually.
Called Jamichael Stillwell's name a couple of times. He started the opener, rolled his ankle in practice, and so he comes off the bench here against Vandy. Down to the floor, and a kick ball committed by Jalen Washington will get possession of the Knights.
I thought Stillwell and Fumena did a nice job of recovering off that action because Jordan Burks was just a half a second late on the help side, but he was saved by Fumena and Stillwell of attacking and trying to recover in space.
Fumena, like Kugel, a transfer from Mississippi State. Made a nice cut there. Difficult shot up and around 6'10", Jalen Washington.
We got to battle down low. We got to be careful. There's some fouls coming.
Fumena and Washington have locked up a couple of times already. Tyler Harris was long with the 3. Folks.
Oh, what a split. What a block from the weak side.
Tyler Harris came over to turn aside. Up top, Washington. He can hit from out there. Off the side of the rim that time.
It's a tough matchup here because Frankie Collins is one of the best on-ball defenders in college basketball. Watch Folks split this ball screen action. Not much room there, shows off the handle. But you have to finish higher than that. But just a good job by Tyler Harris of timing that perfectly on the weak side help. Stepping up at the exact right time. Transfer from Washington. He was 12th in the Big Ten in blocks last season. No stranger to coming from the weak side for a block shot.
Known for his ability to shoot it, but he is long at 6'7". That foul was on McLaughlin. It's his second. So the ultimate glue guy for Vandy. McLaughlin has to go to the bench here. Not quite 7 minutes into the game. Stillwell puts it on the deck against Nickel. Rebound by Pacheco, and it'll stay with UCF.
Jalen Washington and Jeremy Fumena are battling hard right now. I think we're going to see a potential off-the-ball foul here coming up. Just keep an eye on it down low, because it is a serious physical battle right now.
There we go, 0 and 13.
Good fade by Pacheco.
Unable to get any space against Harris. Shot clock at 4. Fumena in the lane. Teams have started to cool off a bit after that red-hot start. Haven't seen a point in nearly 3 minutes. Nickel, quick release. Good contest there by Kugel. George Beal Jr. in the game for UCF and asserting himself offensively right away.
He's not going to get credit for it, but Jeremy Fumena should get a virtual assist for that, for the way that he sprinted the floor, pulled the defense, and gave George Beal a better driving angle.
Fumena's provided a lot of energy here in the early going. There's Harris from 3. That's his specialty. Led the country in three-point shooting last season at nearly 50%.
Really gives Vanderbilt an elite spacing option for their offense.
Kugel off balance, off the back rim, and then a foul against Stillwell as he came crashing in. Timeout on the floor, 11:51 to go. Vandy by 2.
Are deep. Vanderbilt's roster is far deeper than last season's. UCF's roster is far deeper than the last 3 or 4 seasons. You will see both teams regularly play 10, sometimes even 11 guys. It's because of the tempo, and it's because of the positional versatility that both rosters have.
UCF jumps into his zone out of that timeout. Tyler Harris, free throw line jumper. Rebound and put back Jalen Washington.
That's a transfer from North Carolina. There's that 7'4" wingspan. Was a huge key for Mark Byington. Looking in the portal, needed size and length, and he found it in Jalen Washington.
Cambridge open 3 from the corner. Good box out by Washington, keeping Holsaway off the glass. Down the lane, finds Harris. Some contact from Holsaway, no whistle, but Harris able to finish.
And just another assist for Vanderbilt. This is such a good passing team. They may end up being one of the better passing teams in the SEC this season.
Collins comes off his man, nearly took it away from Beal. Pacheco off the back rim with the 3, and another strong rebound by Washington. UCF just one of its last 8.
We saw this in the Hofstra game when Riley Kugel went out. The offense seemed to stall a bit. It's something that does need to get fixed and addressed for UCF moving forward.
Cambridge chasing Nickel. Everybody for Vanderbilt able to handle the ball. Nickel from deep. Oh, a tremendous shooter who shows off some range right there. That was a 25-footer for Tyler Nickel.
Tyler Nickel shot 40% from 3 last season. 7th in the SEC, any guys, but his footwork is immaculate. And his ability to read the defense, being able to pick and pop, short roll, long roll, does everything so well. Elite footwork, and he was a joy to watch on film preparing for this game. I think he's one of the more underappreciated wings in college basketball.
Nickel was standout for Duke a season ago.
Playing great in Charlotte right now, by the way.
Zone look from Vandy after the UCF timeout. Kugel back in there, has to take a deep three, and he knocks it down. Second three for Kugel. He's got 8.
And when in doubt, make sure the ball is in the hands of Riley Kugel.
The 3 ends a 10-0 run. Miles able to just keep it away from Folks. Okereke will take Burks down into the post. Kugel, the runner, stayed with it, and it's eventually pulled down by Jaden Leverett. Out in transition, Tanner, the lob, Okereke, he was not expecting that pass to go to the rim. Vandy fortunate to keep possession.
I saw what Tanner saw. He should have kept running. The lob was there. That's a tough step through for Miles, my goodness.
Left-handed, Duke Miles showing his offensive versatility.
My word.
Well, the shot-making ability on this Vanderbilt team is something to behold. Everybody can shoot it, everybody can handle it. It's a team that was picked 11th in the preseason SEC media poll.
I think
absolutely criminally underrated.
I could not agree more.
Duke Miles with an open 3.
That's what they do. Vanderbilt hit 17 threes in their blowout win versus Lipscomb.
Right now, the Commodores' lead is 11, their largest of the game. Kugel stepping through Miles off the back rim, able to collect his own miss.
You can shoot
an
that.
open 3. UCF needs it. Vanderbilt in the midst of a 15-3 run.
This is certainly where UCF's defense, you got to hunker down and be fundamentally sound to get a stop and rebound and go.
Leverett's 3 off the mark. Good work by Tanner to keep Folks out of the lane in transition. Kugel, step back 3.
Oh, mercy. He gets one of those a game. Those step back threes where it looks virtually impossible to make. What a tough 3 from Kugel.
3 of 3 from 3-point range for Kugel. He's in double figures with 11. Tanner to answer. Cans it from right in front of the UCF bench. 6 first half threes for Vandy. And out of bounds it will stay with UCF. 6:18 to go in the first half. Vanderbilt putting on an offensive clip.
And that was Vanderbilt's final portal addition for the coaching staff. And he's gonna have a Swiss Army knife type role in the backcourt. Having a great start to the season for the Commodores.
Quick hands from Tyler Tanner, poked it away from Kugel. Miles will try a 3. Off the backboard and nearly went down. Chris Parker pulls it down for UCF. Wide open Burks for the hammer.
Good eyes, good high IQ play by the Villanova transfer Chris Parker on that throw ahead.
And a double. So Stillwell sits. Devin Cambridge back on for UCF. Tanner able to turn the corner on Parker. Can't pay it off. Miles right up on Kugel. He goes to the step back again. Can't hit it this time. Cambridge got a piece of it. And Tanner comes out with it for Vandy. A late whistle from Antonio Petty will put Tanner at the line.
I think if you're a guard of Tyler Tanner's size at 6 foot, it was a really good example of him kind of being in no man's land on that semi-transition, but you know you can get a play at the rim, playing off of 2 feet. not necessarily playing finesse off of one, hoping you get something. When you play off of 2 feet, you're in more control, and you're kind of able to time up the foul opportunity better. I thought it was a really nice job of playing off of 2 feet from Tanner.
A play that Tanner might not have been able to make a year ago. Mark Byington told us yesterday that the biggest change is with his body. He is stronger and much more durable than he was a season ago.
You're going to have to be if he's going to take the reins of the point guard position in the SEC. Doesn't get any tougher than that.
He played behind some fifth-year seniors a year ago. His role dramatically different this season. A lot of dribbling by Kugel up top against Collins. Now he drives baseline, and his pass knocked out of bounds by Okereke.
Again, if Frankie Collins is guarding you, he's great at getting steals off the dribble, off the bounce, just elite. You can't let that affect you and just push it back in, 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, and all of a sudden you look and you're 7-8 feet beyond the three-point line. That's not where you want to initiate your offense. And Burks gets a great look for a three on that baseline out of bounds.
7 points for Jordan Burks. Parker, a deflection up top. Tanner gets a step and gets hit. That'll be the 6th team foul against UCF, so no free throws for Vandy.
And Coach Dawkins is frustrated with that play because up until that foul, it was a great showing of how good UCF's defense on the perimeter can be, because you've got guys that are, 6'8", 6'6", 6'6", that can all switch from point guard, a shooting guard, a small forward defensively. And those bailout fouls are the things that drive you crazy as a head coach, but those have to continue to be learning opportunities for this brand new roster for UCF.
Collins open three. That's the 7th first half three for Vanderbilt.
It's a good example of Tyler Nichols' gravity. When he drives, puts the ball on the floor, he's going to attract multiple defenders.
Chris Johnson bailed out there by the whistle as Tyler Tanner is whistled for a foul. 15th foul against Vandy.
That's where Tanner and Collins were exceptional in that game versus Lipscomb. They weren't just stealing passes, they were stealing dribbles. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do without fouling.
Cambridge bumped out of bounds by Nickel. His first and the 6th against Vandy. So each team now in the bonus on the next common foul. Bull trying to put it on the deck, and Collins rips it away. 4-on-2, it's a Tanner three. Cambridge up high for the rebound, and he'll be at the line.
They're trying to go to a dribble handoff, but Kugel stops his cut short, and Bull just can't put it on the deck like that. You have to be stronger. Learning opportunities for John Bull. He's going to be really good. 7'2" sophomore. Saw limited action at Ole Miss last season, but he was the best shot blocker and rim protector in preseason practice for UCF.
Bull, 4-star prospect in high school. Only player in the history of UCF's program that played in the McDonald's All-American game. That in 2024.
I feel like you said that as a slight against me.
Well, you just narrowly missed the McDonald's All-American game, based on my memory of your playing ability. Good effort from Burks after the missed free throw gives UCF another possession. I beg your pardon, it wasn't Burks, it was Chris Johnson. Knocked it off the leg of Tyler Harris. Johnson didn't play in the opener against Hofstra, making his UCF debut, and he's got an assist. Found Cambridge wide open underneath.
Chris Johnson keeping the play alive because he lost the handle briefly in midair and then adjusts within a split second to make that pass.
Chris Johnson, 6'5" junior,
Nice
transfer
pass.
from Stephen F. Austin. Nickel straight on three, and when he's unguarded, that's like a layup.
I refuse to take that pass for granted. That is such a timely, perfect, and smooth behind-the-back pass from Frankie Collins.
Nickel had 6 threes in the opener, 2 in the first half this afternoon. Harris, solid defending there, making the handoff hard against Burks. Chris Johnson contributing off the bench. Cambridge with the bucket.
They've hit 8 threes in the first half, and they've also been able to capitalize off of UCF's turnovers. They have 8 points off of 6 UCF turnovers.
Kugel sitting here in the late stages of the first half.
Nice defense from Burks there.
Nickel from deep. Cambridge did not get a hand up.
You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. If you don't get a hand up, Tyler Nickel is going to make it from anywhere beyond the three-point line. 11 first half points for Nickel. He is 3 for 4 from 3.
Vanderbilt 9 of 17 as a team.
And you know, also just additionally, Austin, I'm sorry there, talking about Tyler Nickel, he's playing his natural position now more consistently because Vanderbilt was so undersized. A lot of times Nickel had to play almost, Vanderbilt doesn't play specific positions, but had to essentially guard a lot of power forwards. But because Vanderbilt is bigger, he can play on the wing more and have a little bit more freedom to move.
Second season at Vandy for Tyler Nickel. Transfer from Virginia Tech. 81 threes a season ago, just off Vandy's top 10 single season list. Wide open underneath. Tanner finds Washington for the easy deuce.
There's a roll and replace with Tyler Nickel, and 2 defenders go with Nickel because they're worried about the 3. That left Jalen Washington wide open on the lob.
Johnson gets into the lane, tried to shovel it to Fumena. Some contact as he went up, but no whistle. Important stretch here for UCF. Want to stay connected in the final 2 minutes. Okereke will step out. He splashes a 3. Timeout UCF as the lead is swelled to 17.
Vanderbilt can get anything they want right now. Ram action, down screen into ball screen into Spain. Ram into Spain is not easy to execute, but they did that perfectly. And there's A.K. Okereke ripping a 3. Vanderbilt's 10th 3 of the first half. Wow.
Johnny Dawkins told us at shoot around today, defending the 3 is the biggest priority. And Vandy's got 10 of them in this first half as we check in with Sydney.
Yeah, guys, Vanderbilt's A.K. Okereke has a truly inspiring story. He started his career at Cornell as just a regular student. No big recruiting buzz, no scholarship offer, but he told me when he got there, he reached out to the coaches, earned a walk-on tryout, and showed up with something to prove. Not only did he earn a roster spot, or rotation spot, excuse me, he graduated from Cornell in just 3 years and was voted a team captain in his final season. A.K. told me his mentality, which includes working hard every practice, earning his minutes, and leading by example, helped him succeed both on and off the court. And it's something he brings with him every day here at Vanderbilt. Talk about some good work ethic, guys.
Well, anybody who graduates in 3 years from an Ivy League school is way smarter than Mike and I put together.
That's right. That's right. I don't usually like to agree with you, but you are emphatically correct. How long? Yeah, you didn't even get my name right. I mean, for crying out loud.
That's why I'm not
It's
graduating from Cornell in 3 years.
Take you 30 years to graduate from Cornell.
A lot of people go to college for 6 years.
You're talking about the movie Van Wilder?
That's a Tommy Boy reference, which I have to say I'm very disappointed you didn't get.
I know. You're right. You're right. It's my fault. First turnover of the day for me.
Yep.
My apologies.
Frankie Collins at the line for Vandy. UCF wanted to get Riley Kugel in during that timeout. I don't know whether he didn't get to the table in time or what, but he was on the floor and then sent back off. He checks in here for Chris Johnson. We said this was an important stretch for UCF. Vandy now on a 7-0 run to stretch the lead to 19 with under 90 seconds to go in this first half.
They had Pacheco on the go screen switch.
Just inside the three-point line, Pacheco with his first bucket as a UCF Knight.
That's what he's there to do. He was 4th in the nation in three-point field goal percentage, and that's why he has such a hard closeout. Defenders close out on him so hard because he shot 46% from 3 last season at Mount St. Mary's.
Okereke walking Burks down into the post. But he is so versatile. A.K. Okereke. Mark Byington will take his use it or lose it first half timeout with 43.8 seconds to go.
Pick and roll scoring efficiency. I don't know if there's a player in the country that can actually say that they accomplished both those things in the same season.
And Mark Byington told us versatility is his game. He can initiate offense, play anywhere from the 2 to the 4, and it's been on display in this first half. Washington out there to guard Folks. Shot clock under 10. Folks can't turn the corner on Okereke. Kugel from the corner, a much needed 3. Goes down for UCF. Duke Miles step back 3. Off the back rim, Folks pulls it down. UCF will not get a shot away as the half expires. An impressive
On your closeouts, closing out on Tyler Nickel, closing out on Tyler Tanner, closing out on Okereke. Those guys can't get easy, smooth looks. You're almost much better allowing them to try to get into the paint and force a tough jumper than you are a contested 3.
6 different Vanderbilt players hit a 3 in that first half. And UCF with a lineup change to start the final 20 minutes as JaMychal Stillwell comes in place of John Bull. So UCF conceding some size to try to match up with Vandy on the perimeter.
That was an awesome recovery by JaMychal Stillwell during that chaotic possession to close out.
Off the kickball, shot clock resets to 20. Duke Miles into the lane to set up Tanner. Second half starts much the way the first half ended. Another Vanderbilt 3. It's the 3rd for Tyler Tanner.
They just have elite spacing. They had it last season, but they have even more shooters and playmakers than they did last season when they went to the NCAA tournament.
So 3 halves so far this season, Vanderbilt has scored 56, 49, and 52 this afternoon. And they're not doing it against bad competition. Lipscomb, always a strong mid-major, and now on the road against UCF. Miles rips a 3. Great start to the half for Vandy. Foul off the ball as Tanner was trying to work against Stillwell in the post.
And you can draw up anything you want if you're Coach Dawkins. You can switch up defenses, which he has. I would imagine that halftime speech was fiery in nature. What you have to do is eventually, you just got to guard your guy. And you got to stay sound. You got to stay in front. And you have to not take chances, you're not going to be able to come back and whittle this lead down by one big play. It takes multiple small efforts.
And it's Vandy that's come out of the locker room ready to play. 8 quick points from the Commodores' Devin McLaughlin with the bucket there. And the lead has swelled to 24, all Vandy here on the road.
Well, Vanderbilt is just humming offensively. We saw what they did against Lipscomb. They won 105-61. They hit 17 threes. They had 23 assists on 24 made field goals in that game and only 6 turnovers. And we're seeing, you know, obviously a step up in competition in a big way, and Vanderbilt seems to be unfazed. You mentioned it earlier. You said that, I'm going to just be a little facetious here. You said that Vanderbilt was picked 11th in the SEC?
Picked 11th in the SEC media preseason poll.
Man.
We described that as criminally underrated, and I'm gonna stand by that. There's no way that this is the 11th best team in the SEC. Kugel left it on the front rim. And look, the SEC is going to be a very good conference. They were elite a year ago. Set a record with how good the league was. Probably not quite on that level this year. They've got 6 teams ranked in this week's edition of the top 25. And Vanderbilt is going to be, I think, right there in this league with the very top teams in the SEC.
I would agree with that. I think, obviously, Florida is going to be really good. Do I think they're going to be as good as last season? No, because you're having to replace Walter Clayton Jr., an All-American. That's not a light switch type replacement. And so it's going to take time for Florida. And I think Vanderbilt, I mean, they look like this is mid-January for the Commodores right now.
Miles all the way down the lane. Up and in with a left hand. And it's a 10-0 run for Vanderbilt out of the locker room. Carmelo Pacheco comes on for UCF as Johnny Dawkins continues to try to find a lineup that can be productive here in the second half. Stillwell fakes the handoff, score it plus the foul.
If you know anything about Coach Dawkins, you know, and I'm not dismissing what you said at all, but I don't think he's necessarily searching for productivity. I think he's searching for efforts. And I think he's searching for his standards. I mean, what guys are going to show up and play and compete? I mean, that's what Coach Dawkins cares about the most. Shots won't fall, so that can't affect your effort.
This was a close game midway through the first half. Vanderbilt has broken it open. Commodores now shooting 64% from the field. Stillwell all over Nickel. Harris, just a sliver of space. His 3 is short. Nickel collects the rebound. And he gets a step. Bad, buries it.
Man, how good is this kid?
Doesn't need much space. And Kugel draws a foul at the other end.
An offensive rebound by Nickel. No box out by Stillwell. Just relocates immediately to space. Teams that do that really well when you watch the NBA, like the Golden State Warriors, specifically Steph Curry, when Klay Thompson was in there. Those guys, if they got an offensive rebound or a kick out, they were so good at relocating to space. And that was a perfect example of that from Tyler Nickel.
Third foul on Tyler. Tanner sends him to the bench. You mentioned this as we were watching UCF shoot around today, and Coach Dawkins talked about how they really needed to limit Vandy to one shot for that specific purpose of not allowing them to get a good three-point opportunity on a second chance.
We haven't seen a lot of full court press from Vandy in this game, but they're still trying to play as fast as they can from a tempo and space standpoint. Score early where it's in a press. You get a steal, deflection, long rebound. And if they don't get it, they'll get that 3. They're still sending 2 guys to the offensive glass to try to get that additional possession those can just be back-breaking when you're having to chase around Vandy the whole time.
Nickel off the mark that time, and a foul on the rebounding action against Vanderbilt. Will go against Jalen Washington.
Here's some more full court press action for Vanderbilt. There'll be times where it'll be straight up man. There'll be times in which they'll look to trap.
UCF with Chris Parker at the point right now, forcing the issue, and a foul called against Miles. That's already 6 fouls against Vanderbilt, and we're not even 4 minutes into the second half.
I would be, if I was the point guard for UCF, I would be saying that as often as I possibly can. I would be like, guys, look, we're in the bonus now, and there's 16-12 left. If you want to extend this thing, if you want to get back into it, if shots aren't falling, get to the free throw line, stop the clock. You have the opportunity to not just set up your press if you need to press, but that just naturally slows the game down. Vanderbilt is better when the game is fast. They just are. In the first half, if you go back and we watch the first half again, some of the cleanest looks that UCF got in the first half came late in the shot clock when Vanderbilt's defense broke down. You can weather that first kind of 20-25 seconds, you're going to get a good shot.
2 free throws for Chris Parker. His first points in a UCF uniform. Trap along the baseline, out of it. Collins short with the 3. Follows his own miss. That pops out. Stillwell gets fouled and hits. Potentially the second 3-point play of the half for Jamichael Stillwell. Well, UCF looking for a spark offensively. Game. No Tyler Tanner out there right now for Vandy. He's got 3 fouls. UCF speeds up the Commodores, and they turn it over for just the 3rd time in the game. Still well defended well by Washington. Kicks out Cambridge off the mark on that 3. And Miles ends up with it for Vandy. Lead was 16 at halftime. Commodores scored the first 10 coming out of the locker room. Tyler Harris creates space and hits the deep 2.
Just so many weapons on the court for Vanderbilt, and that is exactly what Frankie Collins does. He is a highly disruptive defender. Came into this game with 163 career steals.
Transfer from TCU. He missed almost all of last season after breaking his foot. Did that in a game against Vanderbilt. Pacheco, we'll often see him miss a look like that, wide open at the top of the key. Well, the quality of shooting from 3-point range between these teams, when you think about Nickel, Harris, Pacheco, Kugel, there's not going to be many games this season in college basketball that have this level of shooting on the floor.
No question about it. From UCF's perspective in the transfer portal, they got both Carmelo Pacheco and George Beal, who are elite 3-point shooters. Beal, transferred from Hampton, shot almost 40% from 3 last season. Pacheco was 4th in the nation in 3-point field goal percentage at 46%. And then between Tyler Nickel and Tyler Harris and Duke Miles, those guys are great 3-point shooters.
McLaughlin chases down the board and gets the stick back.
He shifted over to more of a natural power forward position this season. He had to play a lot of 5 and center for Vanderbilt last season.
I really liked what Mark Byington had to say about his contribution. Said last year, we were a top 20 team when he was on the floor.
Yeah.
I don't know what we were when he was off it, but it wasn't nearly as good. That tells you a lot about how important he is to this team, even though the scoring numbers might not scream that. Harris follows up the missed dunk by Washington. Easy deuce in transition. Stillwell aggressive against Washington and earns a trip to the line.
As Miles pushing in transition, they're just great at finding teammates in transition, looking ahead. Stillwell draws the foul again, and this is where, you know, 12:59 left in the second half is an eternity. You know, things are going to change for UCF. It has to change absolutely now. This possession, after this free throw, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But that's how you creep back in. Vanderbilt has 18 fouls with 12:59 left. I would be constantly thinking about that. How do either myself or my teammates get to the free throw line, stop the clock? You saw what happened in the previous full court possession for UCF when they were pressing, actually forced a turnover. But Duke Miles actually threw it out of bounds.
Tyler Tanner back out there for Vandy with the 3 fouls. And we've heard Johnny Dawkins talk in the past about how you don't learn a ton about guys when everything's going well. You learn a lot about your guys when they're presented with adversity. And right now, UCF is facing a lot of adversity in this particular game. And there's an opportunity for guys to show Coach Dawkins that they are prepared to fight, and they will be there as the season goes along.
And if you're to make a comeback and follow through with what Coach Dawkins said to you and I, you don't do it through trying to gamble to get steals. You have to keep it sound, and you have to trust that the defensive system works.
Nichols' 3 pops in and out. Kugel back on the floor for UCF. He'll settle into a transition 3. His first miss from 3-point range this afternoon. He's 4 for 5. Tanner wide open, towing the line, and off the back rim. Kugel hesitation, great move on Tyler Harris to finish.
Just about as smooth of a downhill attacker as you will find in college basketball. He's so smooth with the ball in his hands. Combine that with great strength, and you can see why there is pro-level skill for Riley Kugel.
Length of Burks helped him block that shot. Beal in transition had to avoid Antonio Petty, the official, along the sideline. Stillwell attacking on Nickel. Off balance as he took that shot. Burks able to deflect it, and it was last touched by Harris. It'll stay with UCF with 11:28 remaining in the second game of the season for each of these teams. UCF, a 4-point win over Hofstra on opening night. Vanderbilt destroyed Lipscomb 105-61. Commodores backing that up with a terrific effort in their first road game of the year as Riley Kugel adds to his total. That's now 18.
We talked about, you know, his tempo when he has the ball in his hands and how smooth he is. But he's also exceptionally strong, as defenders just will naturally bounce right off him. It's very rare when you got guys that are that smooth, but that strong as well. That combination usually doesn't exist in basketball.
Kugel completes the 3-point play.
And I would know as someone who's both slow and not strong.
Well, don't sell yourself short. You're a tremendous slider.
5'10" and a half.
Taller than the average male, as you tell me all the time, right?
That's what my pediatrician says.
Shot clock under 10 for Tanner. Chandler Bing catches in the lane and is fouled. The foul goes against Stillwell. And it's his 4th.
I like how Chandler Bing was able to cut and pivot while also keeping his hands up in the air. It sounds like a very simple, obvious thing, but that gives me great confidence as a passer that you're ready for the pass once you cut.
Chandler Bing, 6'6" freshman from Atlanta, Georgia. Named after his grandfather. If you're a fan of Friends, that name no doubt resonates. It's the name of Matthew Perry's character in Friends, Chandler Bing. And I'll be among many broadcasters this season to mention that Bing has never seen an episode of Friends. Although I'm confident he gets asked about it all the time, and you'll probably hear broadcasters talk about it a lot as the season goes along, anytime he's on the floor.
I haven't either. I'm more of a Seinfeld guy myself.
Oh, I'm totally a Seinfeld guy, though I have seen an episode of Friends before. Certainly knew who Chandler was. Foul off the ball committed by McGlockton. Vanderbilt already over 10 fouls in this second half, so it'll be 2 free throws the rest of the way for UCF. And Cambridge a chance to cut the margin down to 20. Well, Vanderbilt passing its first road test of the season, at least so far, with flying colors. Still got 11 minutes to go, and anything can happen. But this was not the type of schedule that Mark Byington wanted to play. He told us that they lost some gym time due to some conflicts with women's volleyball. They had some scheduling contracts that didn't allow them to play as many home games as they would have wanted. Normally you see power conference teams that, unless it's a neutral site tournament, they're playing at home almost exclusively until the start of the conference season. This is one of 3 road non-conference games that Vanderbilt will play against quality competition. They'll also play at Memphis and at Wake Forest in December. And if nothing else, it's going to be a great test before Mark Byington's squad gets into the SEC.
And it's going to be, obviously, you mentioned test, but the ability to, oh, so we got a little back and forth here. Uncertainty. When you have that kind of schedule, you're testing your team, yes. But how talented this Vanderbilt team is, it's resume building time. You know how tough the SEC is going to be. Can you steal a couple quad 1, quad 2 wins in the non-conference to set yourself up for success come Selection Sunday?
Perfectly executed middle pick and roll with Johnson getting it to Cambridge for a dunk. UCF jumps right into their press, and Kugel deflects it out of bounds.
You're seeing a little life from UCF. Excellent execution, pick and roll. There's that versatility with Devin Cambridge acting as, it's also how you win. And that blowout wins, winning by 30 from a metric standpoint matters a lot more than winning by 15. As maybe ridiculous as that sounds, that helps.
Washington inside with the bucket, and this may not have been the game that Mark Byington wanted, but if it's a quad 1 win at the end of the year, he's going to feel really good that they played it.
Oh yeah.
Johnson steps back on Harris. Difficult shot. Chris Johnson knocks down a triple. Makes it a 17-point game just past the midway point of the second half. Collins with the left hand off the window.
That looked like same foot, same leg on that finish. Puts the defender at such a disadvantage. Yeah, they wanted this matchup all game long. Kugel hunting nickel for isolation action. Let's watch Collins get downhill. Is it same foot? Yep, same foot, same hand on the finish. Because you eliminate that extra step, you can see Burks trying to time up that block, and there's just enough hesitation. It looks just awkward enough to where you control the timing versus the defender does.
Collins in double figures with 11. Kugel leads all scorers. He's got 20 after that free throw. UCF fans have to be excited about the way he shot the ball here in the first two games. 5 of 9 from 3 against Hofstra, 4 of 5 this afternoon. So 9 of 14 from 3 in the first two games for Kugel. Collins will try a three. Cambridge up high for that rebound. Running the floor, and he hammers it down. Kugel with the assist. Some life from UCF. A stop and a score here would be big for the Knights. Get it into the type of range where you think about a comeback. Nichols slips, still able to get it away, but it's off the front rim. Tanner tracks down the loose ball and hits the mid-range jumper. Winning play from Tyler Tanner, and then he steals it away from folks in the backcourt and earns a trip to the line.
Well, you said it, Austin. Winning plays from Tyler Tanner, the sophomore. That was a tough bucket off an offensive rebound, gets the steal. That's what he does. Vandy up big.
He's got the potential to more than double that for UCF this season.
And I'm actually not too surprised at, how hot he's been from 3 to start the season. I mean, he only shot 33% from 3 last season at Mississippi State, but he was about 38% from 3 when he was at Florida. I mean, the coaching staff when they were in the portal looking at Riley Kugel, they just kind of dismissed that season. They really felt that he was a guy who could be around 40% from 3. Which just, how do you scout and prepare for a guy like that with his size and fluidity off the bounce?
Kugel, 6'5", native of the Orlando area, played high school hoops at Dr. Phillips. Won a state title at DP, got to another championship game. Good ball movement. Pacheco, corner 3 is good.
They've been waiting for him to get going and make his first couple threes. Staff is very high on Carmelo Pacheco.
First of what will likely be many threes this season for the transfer from Mount St. Mary's. Foul off the ball. And it's going to go against Cambridge, who is down for UCF. He was tied up with Washington, and the officials are telling Johnny Dawkins that they are going to go look at the play on the monitor. Meanwhile, someone's got to come out and check on Cambridge.
So Devin Cambridge sold that a little bit. That was absolutely an offensive foul. Anytime the arm goes above the shoulders to the neck or face area, it's going to be a foul, number one. And there's also a very high percentage that the referees will review this and potentially look at a flagrant 1 type situation. And if you're Cambridge, if you're any player and you get an arm bar to the throat or the face or the head, you've got to additionally sell it. And what fans saw, I mean, that's 100% an offensive foul, but his fall, it was such a loud thud on the ground, have missed or upgraded something. But this is one of those situations where, by the rule, you can take the foul off of Cambridge and add it to Washington with the upgraded flagrant opportunity.
So review benefits UCF. Cambridge hits 1 of 2, and it'll be UCF ball with a chance to cut into a 15-point deficit. And now Vanderbilt will go even smaller. Nickel's going to come out. Frankie Collins comes on. That'll put Devin McLaughlin at the 5. This is not as small as Vanderbilt can get. Johnson on the attack. He's been a nice injection of energy off the UCF bench. And it's now a 13-point game with 7 minutes to go.
And they got him running point guard. That is not his natural position with Themis Folks on the bench.
Foul whistled off the ball.
Yeah, that's the right call. I saw that coming the whole way.
It's on Chris Johnson. Themis Folks watching from the UCF bench. 15 foul against UCF, so no free throws for Vandy.
You're in one stop and bucket territory for UCF, where this is just a completely different ball game with 6:47 left on the clock.
McLaughlin steps out. That 3 is long. Vanderbilt led by as many as 27 in the second half. Johnson pushed by Tanner, and a chance to score with no time coming off the clock. And that's the 4th foul on Tanner.
And you've got Tyler Nickel checking in the ball game now. That's one of the luxuries for Vanderbilt, is they will regularly have 3 point guards on the court at all times. So with Tyler Tanner in foul trouble, you still have Collins and Miles with the ability to run the points. What a luxury for Coach Byington.
So Chris Johnson has become a big part of the story here for UCF in this second half. Didn't play in the opener against Hofstra. Only played 3 games last year at Stephen F. Austin. Versatile combo guard. Johnny Dawkins says his role still developing, and he's rapidly earning more time with his play here in the second half.
UCF has definitely benefited from getting to the free throw line. They've taken 21 free throws. Vanderbilt only 8 attempts from the free throw line.
Miles, tough drive, got it up and around Burks. Kugel.
What a pass. What a pass.
Johnson on a line. Well, you said he doesn't play the point. You could have fooled me with how well he's handling it so far.
No question.
UCF crowd trying to give their team some life. Miles short on the 3. Could be single digits if UCF hits a 3 here. Johnson will give it a try and connect. Chris Johnson has completely changed the tenor of this game. Single digits for the first time since the midway point of the first half. Collins, kick to Miles, around and out, and a foul. Chris Johnson ran through Miles after he came down. And that's not going to be 3 free throws. It'll be ball out of bounds for Vandy.
Calling it on the floor. Rick Crawford. Foul happened after the shot was attempted. But Vanderbilt still not in the bonus. Next foul, they're in the bonus. And Tyler Nickel has been really quiet here in the latter part of this second half for Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt, 1 of their last 14 from 3-point range. Miles puts his head down. Second time he's driven to score.
What a great play call from Mark Byington. They wanted to get the switch and get Miles downhill on Pacheco.
Kugel got hit, no whistle. Vandy gets a stop. UCF had hit 8 in a row from the field before that miss by Kugel.
They're hunting Pacheco right now.
Harris Way off on that three. It comes to Nickel, who scores and is fouled.
Tyler Nickel is just one of those players who always seems to be in the right place at the right time, exactly when your team needs it. Offensive rebound, tough finish with the left. 16 points for the senior.
And you mentioned he'd been quiet. First bucket for him in a long time.
Yeah.
And he converts the three-point play. So Vandy has scored the last 5 after UCF cut the margin to single digits. A foul off the ball. Miles trying to guard Stillwell in the post. And it'll be 2 shots for the UCF senior forward.
It's interesting, we are now seeing both coaches, X's and O's wise, call action to get specific switches to their advantage. Vanderbilt last 2 possessions, they got 2 switches where they were hunting Carmelo Pacheco, trying to get guards going downhill. This possession, Johnny Dawkins goes to a guard-on-guard action, which forced the switch on Jermichael Stillwell, who was able to bury the defender in the post. Duke Miles.
Foul trouble rapidly becoming an issue for Vandy. We've already seen Jalen Washington foul out. Miles, McLaughlin, and Tanner all have 4. There's McLaughlin underneath, and he stepped out of bounds.
Really is amazing the power of momentum when you can feel it in the game, when your team's making shots. It's contagious. When you're up big and a team's starting to come back, not taking your foot off the gas pedal. That's kind of the next evolution of Vanderbilt's offense. Weathered the storm well so far, though.
Cambridge has Miles there, trying to avoid his 5th foul. He fell down. Cambridge could not finish. UCF got what it wanted there, but couldn't pay it off. Under 4 minutes to go, 13-point lead for Vandy. Collins, little hesitation and a ball fake to score it off the window. Knight's got as close as 9. Vandy has settled things down. Johnson, mid-range jumper is good. He's got 11 now.
It's a tough matchup for Cambridge from a speed standpoint. Miles took advantage of it the last possession. You could see Nickel sitting out there at the top, and they're just going to see if UCF switches or not. Is Nickel going to pop, or is he going to stay? He pops, and he's open.
Miles keeps it. Can't finish. Kugel knocked away by Collins. Miles up ahead. Pacheco tries to back off, ends up committing the foul anyway, and Miles will have a chance for 3. Duke Miles with some big buckets down the stretch for Vanderbilt, taking it upon himself to carry this offense in the closing minutes. And the Commodores have steadied themselves. 15-point lead.
Jumper, and then on the next possession when UCF was inbounding it, after one dribble, he steals a pass and he goes to the free throw line. That was a back-breaking play by Tyler Tanner if you're a UCF fan.
Yeah, there have been some 50-50 plays that have gone Vandy's way here in the second half. Johnson draws a foul against Chandler Bing. Knights have lived at the line here in the second half. This will be their 24th and 25th free throw attempts of the game. Vandy has shot only 10 free throws.
Chris Johnson has been a huge bright spot for UCF. Early outside of Riley Kugel, he's been the guy. That's 12 points. He's only missed 1 shot from the field. He's 4 or 5 from the field. Hit both his threes. and you throw in 4 assists, and a guy who's not a natural point guard is playing the position very well.
One big takeaway is how well Johnson's played in the second half. 13 points.
Coach Byington's calling for an intentional foul because he thought Riley Kugel was not making a play on the ball.
Officials disagreed. Ray Natili explaining his position to Coach Byington, who's going offense-defense with his freshman Chandler Bing, constantly switching Bing and Harris. It's a 1-and-1 for Collins. Around and out. Cambridge boards the miss. Stillwell definitely traveled. Late call, but the right one from Antonio Petty. Well, Johnny Dawkins often says early in the season, we don't want to be playing our best basketball in November. We want to be playing it in February and March. And there's a lot to take from this, both positives and negatives, that he can build on as UCF heads towards its next game Tuesday against Florida A&M. Shot clock under 10. Miles kicks to Harris. Corner 3. And after a long, cold stretch, Vandy finally hits another one from 3-point range. That's their 14th of the game. Kugel got position on Miles for the easy bucket. Ball goes through the hands of Harris. Vanderbilt turns it over. Just their 6th turnover of the game.
17 assists for Vanderbilt, only 6 turnovers. It's an embarrassment of riches for Vanderbilt. I mean, there's just so many guys that can hit threes, contested threes, threes off the bounce.
Johnson fouled by Miles. That'll be all for Duke Miles. He fouls out of the game with a team-high 20 points.
Was really good for Vanderbilt all game long. The transfer from Oklahoma seems like a perfect fit for Mark Byington's system and culture.
Yeah, the transfer portal obviously has dramatically altered college basketball. It feels like when you look at this Vanderbilt roster that Coach Byington and his staff have done an exceptional job. Not only did they go out and get really talented guys, but when you think about Miles, Washington, Tyler Harris, Okereke, they got guys who are high character guys and fill a specific need that was something that needed to be addressed in the offseason.
But I don't think any of that, you're exactly right, but I don't think any of that matters as much if Tyler Nickel doesn't come back, if Tyler Tanner doesn't come back, if Devin McLaughlin doesn't come back. Those 3 key pieces from last year's NCAA tournament team make all of those transfers fit really well because you've got 3 high-level returning pieces back. Roster retention is everything right now in college basketball.
Tyler Harris pumps it through. That gets Vandy to 99. And I think that's the other part of it. You know, 3 guys return, 3 key guys return for Vanderbilt. You return 3 guys, that feels significant in this new era of college basketball.
No question about it. Breaking the press. Vanderbilt putting up 99 on the road. If you're an elite offensive team, you're always scoring better at home. Everybody shoots better at home. There's just better flow. You're more comfortable at home. when you can put up 99 points on the road against a Big 12 team, my goodness, this offense is going to be so fun to watch this season.
The potential for Vandy to score over 100 in back-to-back games. Look at the fan base. This is going to be a really good team and a fun team to watch given the way they play.
Agreed.
Johnson commits a foul, so Vandy will have a chance to get 100 at the line. I'm told that Vanderbilt football trailing against Auburn right now. Loss there would end their college football playoff hopes. Perhaps much of the Vandy fan base is locked in on football right now, but I'm sure they'll go back and watch this game on ESPN+.
I would assume so.
Yep.
And for UCF, you know, there as Vanderbilt eclipses the 100-point mark on the road, they've got FAMU in a couple days, and then there's an interesting stretch here for UCF where you're at Texas A&M, another SEC team. Texas A&M, that's another full court press, high up tempo with a new head coach. You got Buckyball there at Texas A&M, and then they've got Oakland at home. Oakland played Purdue really, really well. That's an Oakland team who absolutely should win the Horizon. It's going to be an interesting matchup, and then they follow that up with Pitt.
Yeah, Oakland and Purdue was tied at halftime. Oakland lost by 10 to the #1 team in the country. Well, Johnny Dawkins' squad gave up 100 in regulation a couple of times last year. Oklahoma State and then Iowa State when the Cyclones were ranked 3rd in the country. We heard a report from Sydney earlier about how defense has been the calling card of this program. And these are not the types of scores that you expect to see from UCF opponents. Johnson with another 3, misses. That doesn't do anything to diminish his second half contribution.
Well, we talked about first team to 90. We were a little off, first team to 100.
Yeah, 193 points between these teams, and likely a couple of more.
And you mentioned Vanderbilt's schedule as well as, you know, they've got a few games at home here coming up. Eastern Kentucky, Arkansas Pine Bluff, Texas Southern. They got the battle for Atlantis as well. It's another tough field. Then you've got SMU at home, not easy. Memphis at Memphis, going to be a tough battle, and then you're also at Wake as well.
I talked about 3 challenging road games in the non-conference. Again, not the way that most Power 4 teams set up their schedule, but Mark Byington said there were some things out of his control that led to the schedule going the way it ended up going. One free throw for Stillwell. 14 points for him. Terrific offensive effort along with Chris Johnson. All 17 of Johnson's points in the second half. He just got a handshake and an attaboy from Johnny Dawkins. Didn't end up going UCF's way, but Johnson's efforts in the second half made this a much more competitive game. It was a 9-point game with about 4 minutes to go.
And a lot of it had to do with his intensity and his pace and switching over and saying, we have to make something happen. It's not his position, but he was fantastic running the point for UCF late in the second half.
Well, Vanderbilt back-to-back games over 100 to start the season. They come to Orlando and beat UCF 105-93. And Vanderbilt certainly going to be a team to watch. Probably